the road to nowhere. The road was a malignant entity, a black ribbon unfurling across the desolate plains, promising oblivion to the unwary. John had heard the whispers, the spectral tales of the road that devoured souls, but like a moth drawn to a flame, he was compelled to test its myth. He was a man of steel, a trucker with calloused hands and a heart worn smooth by the endless grind of the highway. Yet, as he rolled onto that cursed asphalt, a shiver ran down his spine, a premonition of the horror that awaited. The wind, a banshee's wail, whipped around his rig, rattling the windows and casting eerie shadows in the cab. The world outside was a monochrome canvas of black and white, punctuated by the twin beams of his headlights, which seemed to pierce the darkness with a futile defiance. Then it began. A flicker in the rearview mirror, a malevolent eye-opening in the night. A car, a phantom vehicle, was bearing down on him with unnatural speed. Its headlights were extinguished, a void hurtling through the darkness. Panic seized John as the car drew closer, a specter of death closing in. With a last-second swerve, he managed to avoid a head-on collision, the phantom car vanishing into the night like a ghost slipping through a wall. The road began to change, its surface slick with an unseen liquid, the dividing lines blurring and fading like a fevered dream. A sense of impending doom washed over John, a cold dread that seeped into his bones. He was trapped, a prisoner on a highway to hell. Then he saw it, a figure, a grotesque silhouette against the starless sky. It moved with unnatural speed, a predator stalking its prey. Its eyes, twin embers in the night, burned through the windshield, igniting a terror deep within John's soul. He slammed on the brakes, the tires screeching in protest, but the figure was upon him, a monstrous hand reaching for the cab. Darkness claimed him. When consciousness returned, he was cocooned in the sterile white of a hospital room. The doctor, a man with eyes that held the weight of countless tragedies, informed him of a severe accident, the result of a collision with a phantom vehicle. But John knew better. The doctor's eyes held a secret, a knowing glint that spoke of horrors beyond the realm of medicine. And as his gaze drifted to the window, he saw it, the road, a sinister serpent coiled at the edge of town. Days turned into weeks, his body mending but his mind a shattered landscape. Nightmares consumed him, the road a recurrent motif, the shadowy figure a relentless tormentor. The allure of the road was a siren song, a dangerous temptation he couldn't resist. On a night when the moon was absent and the world was cloaked in an inky blackness, John returned. The road was unchanged, a malevolent presence that seemed to grow with every passing moment. The wind howled, a mournful dirge for lost souls. And there, in the distance, was the figure, a harbinger of doom. This time he was armed, a pistol clutched in his trembling hand. As the figure drew closer, he fired, the deafening reports echoing through the night. But the figure was impervious, its form flickering and distorting, a mockery of his defiance. In a final act of desperation, he drove his rig straight at the monstrosity. There was a cataclysmic collision, a symphony of crunching metal and shattering glass. When the dust settled, the figure was gone, vanished into thin air, leaving behind a desolate expanse of broken asphalt. Exhausted and terrified, John fled the scene. But as he glanced in the rearview mirror, he saw it, a new road, identical to the first, stretching into the endless night. The road was a hydra, its heads multiplying with each defeat. Word of the road spread like wildfire. A chilling tale whispered around campfires and truck stops. Those brave or foolish enough to challenge its dominion vanished without a trace, their names added to the growing list of the road's victims. John became a recluse, a haunted man living in the shadow of his ordeal. But the road never truly left him. In the dead of night, he would be awakened by the sound of tires on asphalt, the phantom echo of a car chasing him through the darkness of his mind. And as dawn approached, he would be left with a chilling realization. The road was not just a physical entity, but a malevolent force that existed in the realm of the soul, a predator that hunted from within. The road remains, a sinister enigma, a place where reality unravels and nightmares become tangible. It is a place where hope dies and fear reigns supreme. And for those who dare to venture onto its deadly path, there is only one certainty: oblivion. Years passed. John became a ghost, a shadow of the man he once was. The road had seeped into his soul, a constant, gnawing presence. He lived in isolation, a hermit in a world he no longer recognized. Then came Sarah, a young, intrepid journalist with a thirst for the unknown. She arrived in the town bordering the infamous road, drawn by the whispers, the legends, and the inexplicable disappearances. She was determined to uncover the truth. Her arrival was a stark contrast to John's withdrawn existence. She was a beacon of light in his world of shadows. Sarah possessed an uncanny resilience, a spirit untouched by fear. She saw the haunted look in John's eyes, the silent scars etched upon his soul. Intrigued, she approached him, her voice a gentle melody in the desolate landscape of his life. "They say you know the road," she began, her eyes holding a mixture of curiosity and respect. John hesitated, his mind a battleground of fear and a desperate need to share his burden. The words caught in his throat, a dam about to break. "I know the road," he finally managed, his voice barely a whisper. "It knows me too." John's silence stretched between them, a heavy, oppressive thing. Sarah, undeterred, met his gaze. She saw the storm brewing behind those tired eyes, a tempest of fear and sorrow. "I won't let you face this alone," she vowed, her voice steady. There was a strength in her, a determination that ignited a flicker of hope in John. Days turned into weeks as they delved deeper into the mystery of the road. They interviewed locals, their stories a patchwork of fear and folklore. Some spoke of phantom lights, others of eerie whispers carried by the wind. A few, their eyes filled with a haunting terror, claimed to have seen the road stretch on forever, vanishing into a horizon of despair. As their investigation deepened, so did the darkness that enveloped them. Strange occurrences began to plague them. Objects moved on their own. Shadows danced on the walls in mocking patterns. Sleep became a battleground, their dreams invaded by the same shadowy figure that haunted John's nightmares. One night, as they sat by a dying fire, the wind howled with a ferocity that seemed to penetrate their souls. A car, its headlights off, appeared in the distance, moving with unnatural speed towards them. Fear, a cold, clammy hand, gripped their hearts as the car drew closer, a specter of doom hurtling through the night. Sarah and John exchanged a terrified glance. This was no ordinary car. It was a harbinger, a herald of the darkness that was closing in around them. The car was a specter, a malevolent force hurtling towards them. Its headlights remained stubbornly off, a void of darkness cutting through the night. Fear, cold and insidious, seeped into their bones. John's hands tightened around the steering wheel, his knuckles white. Sarah's grip on the door handle was a testament to her growing terror. As the car drew closer, they could make out a shadowy figure behind the wheel, a grotesque silhouette against the night. Its eyes, two burning coals in the darkness, seemed to pierce through the windshield, locking onto them with a predatory intensity. Time seemed to slow as the car bore down on them. They were trapped, two helpless souls in the path of an oncoming nightmare.